Hello and welcome back to the Lapdown Podcast. We are in week 18 or something of the catch-up window. We've not raced for a long time. We don't race for a little bit longer. And then I found out today, which is really disappointing, that after we go to Miami and we race for a bit, then we have another period of no racing because I think we've got like 3 weeks off or something after Miami as well. So I hope you don't like racing. But thanks for listening to this Formula One Cup podcast. My name's Alex. The next voice you're going to hear is Dan. And we've changed the rules, Daniel.
Yeah, I nearly forgot how to spell F1 before I started doing this podcast. It's been that long, isn't it? I can't believe, is there really another 3-week break after the Miami Grand Prix? Is it a 2-week?
Let's have a swizzy here.
It must be a case of flying over to the States for Miami and then flying all the way back to Europe again.
No, we go to Canada, famously a long way away from Miami. So we go to Miami on the 3rd. They come back for 3 weeks, and then they go to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the 24th.
Why?
Yep. Why not? Treat yourself.
Fair enough. Well, to be fair, if we'd have had the missing Grand Prix, probably the 3 weeks off in the middle would have been a good idea, wouldn't it? But hey, yes. We are where we are. We are where we are, and we're going to have catch-up window 1, and then we're going to have catch-up window 2.
Yes, because then they need to work out all the changes that they've just agreed. They're going to need time to actually implement them because it's now too close to Miami for them to do anything for Miami. So, yeah, it's all a mess, Daniel. It's all a mess.
It sounds untidy, doesn't it?
It does. It certainly does. We are going to, because we are your home for technical chat, we are going to unpack all of these rule changes because we obviously understand them. So we're going to go into some deep technical detail on those for you in a little bit, and then we'll revert back to course because there's a couple of other exciting things happening related to tax and paint. I'm selling this, aren't I? Stick around for the next half an hour, everyone.
You really are. It's going to be good. It is going to be good. Promise.
And we've got some team radio, of course. And if you'd like to send us some team radio, you can. teamradio@lapdownpod.com is the email address. You can send us voice notes. You can send us thoughts. Low stakes F1 conspiracies. We've not had one of those in a while. I need to get my tinfoil back on, come up with something from them. But yeah, any thoughts or questions you've got, send them our way. Anything you see, I'm happy for a little bit of show and tell on this pod. If you see something out in the wild, let us know what you're seeing. We had Andrew a few weeks back, months ago now, Australian Grand Prix. We had him on the ground for us in Australia. Quite happily have some roving reporters around about the place. But before we start, Daniel, what have you been doing to fill in the gap of having no racing?
Not a lot.
Are you missing it yet? I said last week I wasn't missing it. Are you missing it yet?
I don't know. I thought about it for the first time yesterday in a while.
Hey, that's good.
So I don't know what prompted my thought about it. I did see, and I didn't go because I was working, but I did see up at Goodwood over the weekend, they had Jenson Button up there in the old Brawn thingamajiggery doing some speedy laps, which if anybody's interested, it's probably worth going to have a look at and listen to because that's, well, closest you're probably going to get see a Formula One car doing things. Did you also see the Red Bull in Tesco's the other day?
Yeah. I just... What's going on there? Because there was also the sort of can-mobile. We have an insider, I guess, who asked this question too. We have our official cylindrical energy partner of the podcast. But yeah, there was the car-mobile. Not the car-mobile, that's a car. The can-mobile was also just chilling in the car park. And then at like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning or something, it's just an old F1 car cutting about a car park in Milton Keynes. Which, I mean, that feels like it's a noise complaint waiting to happen. It was filmed through some bushes, the clip I saw. It wasn't exactly official produced content.
No, I very much saw it kind of on the sly. It wasn't, as you say, it wasn't the official kind of full bells and whistles Red Bull style production value that we come to expect. I also saw they put one on a railway line the other day. I mean, those folks at Milton Keynes must be really bored. And I can't blame them. There is nothing to do at the moment. And maybe this answers the question as to what they're going to be getting GP to do in the period of time between now and leaving Red Bull and starting at McLaren. They've basically just given him a bunch of harebrained ideas to go and just keep him busy. Can hit GP today, this week, we'd like to see if you can make a Formula One car go down the railway line.
It's like early season Top Gear. Where it's like, who can get the best F1 car for £1,500? And then Mr. Willman is going to send GP a text and just
Hammonds,
GP puts his car on a railway.
Hammonds turns up at Tesco's in a Red Bull.
It's just, oh, they are bored, aren't they? They're all bored. Max is off racing. I think Lance did some racing. I saw
He
that,
did. I think he finished about 17 laps down with about 4.5 minutes worth of penalties, I think, for his escapades at Paul Ricard. I don't think it was all his fault. He had two other teammates in it, and I don't know how many of the penalties were exclusively to him, but it didn't go well.
No, 4.5 minutes of penalties will stack up. That'll get you. That'll knock you out the points pretty quick. Logan Sargent's doing some racing again.
Who?
It's exciting for him. Logan. He was the Canadian one. Canadian? American? Canadian? American.
I think he was American.
Actually American.
Did he do? Yeah. He did Williams, didn't he?
He did do Ann Williams.
Was he the guy that Franco took over from?
Yes. Latifi was the Canadian. That's where I'm getting them mixed up.
Yeah.
Latifi was my Canadian.
To be fair, very forgettable.
Yes.
Easy to mix up two North American Formula One drivers.
Yeah.
Very rarely are they at the forefront of our podcast agenda or the forefront of a Formula One field.
They all look at the same with the helmet on as well. So how can you tell them apart? I don't have T-cams going on. Should we dive into some technical stuff? I know this is the kind of content that you live for. They have actually changed the rules, which is quite exciting, I think. Even though the changes, they've said they're evolution, not revolution. And to be honest, I'm kind of okay with that. I don't think we need to be too knee-jerky straight away. How good is it for you that they are actually at least doing something and not doubling down? Surely it can't get any worse.
Well, I guess it's good. I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, the fact that we're 3 rounds into a championship and all of a sudden the rules have changed. It's not... You kind of feel like once you've set your rules out in place, everybody then needs to compete under that fair kind of playing field for the entirety of the season. Because I would imagine a lot of people have worked very hard trying to get to grips with these rules and regulations that were in place before it. It's nice to see they've been doing something. I suppose the big question is, had they have not had this prolonged break, would they have done it? Could they have done it even? I guess they would have had that 3-week gap between Miami and Canada to potentially kind of change things up again. But then we would have been 5 races into the Formula One World Championship, which then becomes quite a big percentage of the 24 race calendar to then suddenly change it. Is it going to have material impacts? I don't know, because I don't really understand a lot of the words and the initials and the acronyms and the numbers that they put together as part of their article. So who knows? I am very aware that Superclip does make the article, but I think probably best that we'll hand back over to you and you can kind of read them out and we can all see if we understand any of it.
Chief Technical Consultant. Here we go. This is the direct wording. Now, I'm taking this from the Formula One article. I don't know if they've already done a little bit of dumbing down on this or if this is the official wording. But qualifying, we're promoting performance, okay? Because we were never doing that before in Formula One. We're doing it now. Adjustments to energy management parameters, including a reduction in maximum permitted recharge from 8 MJs to 7 MJs, aimed at reducing excessive harvesting and encouraging more consistent flat-out driving. This change targets a maximum superclip duration reduced to approximately 2 to 4 seconds per lap.
Nice.
Hey, great or bad or not a change. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
So we can recharge less now, but that means more power.
Does it mean more power, or does it mean that there's just less time that it takes to get from empty to 7 MJs than it does from empty to 8 MJs?
I mean, hey, it reduces the maximum superclip duration. But I don't know. But what I will say, and I'm not, we're the Posse Pod, and we will continue to be the Posse Pod.
Do they really need encouragement for flat out driving?
Well, this is my thing. I feel like for how many years of Formula One have we had? 76.
Some, yeah.
For 76 years of F1, the cars have consistently aimed to drive consistently flat out, I would say.
Yes.
Except now, but now we have to encourage it again. But they are encouraging it, at least, which is good.
Yeah.
I think we can tick that one off. I think we both understand that.
Yep, nailed that. And I think we can probably put that in the good,
Yes.
the good bin.
Tick. Ding.
Yeah, nice.
Good
I like
bin.
it. Wonderful.
Excellent. Hey, Dan.
Yes.
Isn't it exciting that the peak superclip power has increased to 350 kW, previously 250 kW, further reducing the time spent recharging and reducing driver workload and energy management? This will also be applied in race conditions. That's good or bad or not important?
Yeah. What do you measure a kW in? I think that stands for kilowatt, right?
Yes, I believe it's kilowatting. Yes.
So I'm going to try and kind of dumb this down so my brain can understand it. And I'm going to assume that the difference of 100 kWs, bearing in mind we started at 250, to have 100 more on it is a lot, I think.
Big boy. That feels like big boy numbers.
Could be. It could be huge. It could be huge. It might be nothing, because it could be one of those scales that kind of gets exponentially lower the further up the scale you go, and therefore the difference between 0 and 10 kWs and 250 to 350 kWs might be less, or less kind of. But based on face value, I'm going to assume that what's essentially going to be a 30% increase in kWs is going to be good.
I mean, it sounds like less shit clipping. So if it's less shit clipping, good bin. Surely?
Yeah.
Positive bins.
As I say, an increase of something from on a value of 100 sounds good. Like if you were to increase my bank balance by the value of 100, that would be a good thing.
Yes. I would say so. Miami gonna immediately highlight, I think, shit clipping as well. That's a track that beyond sort of your Monzas and your Vegases, that back stretch down Miami, big boy.
Oh yeah.
So
it's long.
if we're gonna go clipping in a shit way, this is gonna highlight it, I think. So
I can't.
Yep.
I genuinely I can't work out whether I want it to work or not.
I think
really
we do, because with the party pod, I think we want it to be good.
I think I do, but I also there's also part of me that kind of hopes that it doesn't, because it would just be funny.
Yes, there is also that. Will give us more to talk about in the pod.
Yeah.
Hey, the number of events where alternative lower energy limits may apply has been increased from 8 to 12, allowing greater adaptation to circuit characteristics.
Nice. What does that mean?
So I'm reading that as this isn't even necessarily related to the cars, where we talked about bracketed circuits and they're sort of graded about recovery and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they've now decided that they're going to let themselves have more of them. Now, that being the case, I'm going to ask you, bearing in mind they made the rules up in the first place.
Yes.
Why did they choose to limit themselves? It feels such an artificial restriction.
Yeah.
Just, hey, we're going to adapt the recharge available on a track-by-track basis to maximize it. End of sentence.
Why have they gone from 8 to 12?
Yes.
And not 8 to 21? No.
Yeah. 19?
19.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, 19 to get to the end, or maybe 20. Who knows? But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me that they're almost. I don't even think I'm intelligent enough to articulate my anger towards this. What this is just forced fun, isn't it? And kind of limiting what you can and can't do. It's a nanny state kind of Big Brother type situation that's just essentially dictating what you can and can't do. Have you ever? No, you probably haven't. And I'm terrible at films. And I mean, somehow you're worse. But
I've got a film degree.
Are you aware of the franchise Cars?
Yes. Ka-chow.
Yeah, that's the one. Have you seen Cars 2? Well, no, have you seen Cars 1 to start with?
No.
Right, so you probably haven't seen Cars 2.
Sorry, Liam,
anyway,
I haven't.
I think in Cars 2, generally speaking, there's like an evil cartoon kind of tyrant that's controlling the world's oil populations. And they're kind of changing things up to do different things. And they're able to almost remote control the cars from the off track. That's essentially what we've got. I think we've basically created Cars 2 in real life.
A lot of people like Cars 2. Liam would be happy.
Yeah, no, good.
All I'm saying is Liam Lawson for World Drivers' Championship now.
This just
Posse
feels...
Pod, Daniel, Posse Pod. Posse Pod. Posse Pod. Posse Pod, Daniel, come on. You can do it.
I'm struggling. This feels less than ideal.
That's positive, yeah.
Because I was going to say shit, so...
No, that's not Posipod.
I think less than ideal is better. But why? Yeah. Why are we kind of... Why are we playing God with this? This is what this feels like.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. But arguably there's a lot of that already with tyre allocations and sort of semi-artificial tyre drop-off and stuff.
It'd be like turning up at Monaco and just saying, yeah, you can only use 6 or 5 of your 6 cylinders. Why? Yeah. No, I just fancied it. Thought it'd be fun.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah. That rear wing can't open this week. Why? What's the point?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't. I really don't understand that at all. That's going in the bad bin for me, at least, anyway.
Fine. These next ones are about race starts to enhance safety mechanisms, which, as soon as you say enhance safety mechanisms, I don't think that people have a leg to stand on with arguing with them, because if they are genuinely doing it for a non-sporting, non-performance-based reason, and they just feel that that's keeping those 22 meat bags safer, then I think by default, all 4 of these go into the good bin just by that nature.
Nice. But well, let's see, shall we?
There is a slight sporting element to it, because there's now a new low-power start detection system, which is capable of identifying cars with abnormally low acceleration shortly after clutch release. So basically, they've turned on F1 assist in the F1 game.
Hang on, sorry.
Starts.
Have you just skipped through race improved safety and consistency of performance, and you've gone straight through to race starts enhanced safety mechanisms?
Well, I was going to go back to I've gone qualifying race starts and then into racing is what I was going to do. Because you can't be racing until you've started your race.
No, so you've rewritten the article on the Formula One website.
I've improved the article because I'm doing it in chronological order.
Nice.
Because I'm a copywriter and journalist and also currently unemployed. So if anyone wants me to improve their articles, teamradio@lapdownpod.com, ATTN:Alex. But yes, no, I was coming back to racing.
Sorry, carry on.
We have to start racing before we can go racing.
Well, that's what I thought, but I didn't want to assume anything.
Yeah. A new low-power start detection system. Mm-hmm. So basically, easy mode is what I'm hearing.
Is that like what you get when you're learning to drive? You know, like if you're sat at the traffic lights and you kind of shit yourself
pulls away for you.
And yeah, exactly. And you don't quite get the revs right. You've got like some kind of older chap sat in the passenger seat just doing the pedals for you.
And he's got a goatee and he's been doing this for a lot of years and everyone loves him, but he's a bit of a grouch. Yeah. And he's driving a Honda Jazz.
Yes.
Yeah. 180,000 miles on. It's only a 24 plate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Been through 13 clutches.
So this is that one where I just said we can't disagree with them because they are safety based. But then also that feels like a driver assist to that's you got your start wrong. Well, we'll give you a hand. It's like, I get it. We don't want that Franco situation tearing up behind. Was it Liam Lawson? Didn't go anywhere. But I mean, hey, it would also be safer if they had traction control.
Do you think this is going to be like one of those AWS things that just kind of lies to us as we go through the Grand Prix? And somehow, how do we know and who do we know has an abnormally low acceleration?
Yeah, most of the back half of the field. But it just
anyway.
I get it. It worries me because at that point, who's doing the start for them? And who's not. Yeah. But I also don't know how else you fix the system. So I shan't be critical of what they've done.
Fine.
This next one is just... It works with automatic MGUK deployment, which will be triggered to ensure a minimum level of acceleration and mitigate start-related risks without introducing any sporting advantage. It can't, though.
Well, it could... It could, but then it would fall directly into the driver assist realm.
Because that's for you.
No, you kind of think is the MG UK going to do the initial bit to get the wheels kind of turning around, and then the driver does the fleshy bit to get the wheels going around quickly? Or does the driver do the bit to get the wheels going around quickly, then that doesn't happen, and the MG UK and the AI agent goes, oh, shit, and then all of a sudden springs into life and kind of pulls away at, I don't know, call it like 30 miles an hour, so that nobody rear ends them?
Yes. Yeah, basically. It gets them away off the line. And it just, yeah.
The thing that I think I'm figuring out here is it goes into the good bin, but I don't think we're ever going to be able to understand how and why that actually works. And I mean, it's likely going to just cover up an issue that a team has got with their start procedures. And I think we'll eventually get to a stage where nobody talks about the starts, because the ones that cock it up each week will end up in a position where they just kind of like totter off and not really kind of. But I think you should be penalized, right? If you get your start wrong, I think it's completely plausible that you should be 9 cars further back down the grid where you started.
Yes.
I don't necessarily think you should completely cock your start up and then all of a sudden go, oh, well, that doesn't really matter, does it? Because I've just lost 1 place. No, if you can't do it right, then you should be punished for it. I want to see the car starting in 6th. I want to see them in 14th because they didn't get off the line properly. There you go.
Yeah.
Posy pod, that's what I want.
But I think that's true. And I do agree. And this is the slight problem, I guess, in that it's under the safety banner, and we won't argue with it because it's under the safety banner, because we're trying to avoid a rear-ending double leg brake type incident that Franco managed to avoid. But it is absolutely Band-Aid territory for me, because if they just manage to put something, there must be a way, he says, as not an engineer, there must be a way to have a system that can make sure that that battery is full at the end of the warm-up lap. Plug it in, put a power bank in the car, or let it leave the garage. I assume they leave the garage fully charged or something. I know the battery's bigger than they're allowed to deploy. Have a separate area in the battery or something that's charged up, that's just for the race start, that's however many kilojoules that they need to get off the line, so that we don't have the safety issue, because they can't have messed up their preparation lap and not go anywhere off the line. Because they're not going anywhere because they've forgotten to drop the clutch. They're not going anywhere because they didn't spool up properly or whatever the blue light bollocks is. Posy pod, blue light fun is. So if we resolved that and made the starts less complicated with just having to deal with so much car admin, then that surely resolves it without having to go to some level of, as you say, just AI assistant Gemini in the car being like, oh, you forgot to press the accelerator, so I've done it for you. How does that make you feel?
I've had an idea.
Here we go.
I've had an idea. And I think this is much simpler and will be safer.
Think I know where this is going.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if our minds are on the same plan. Here's what I'm thinking. We need to have a 22 car wide start-finish line. And then we have the cars staggered, but they don't actually line up behind one another. So they all have their own little kind of, like in athletics, and they have like their own little kind of lanes for a bit. And then they can kind of join into the other big lane afterwards. Why don't we just do that?
It wasn't where I was going. I thought you were going to say scrap the batteries, just put them back in V10s.
No. I'm a big fan of the batteries. I love a battery.
Genuinely, though, not quite to your 22 wide degree, but is there any reason that they can't go 3 wide on the starting grid? The track is wide enough to go 3 wide, I believe, down the start-finish straight every circuit. Monaco may be tight, but certainly to get more of a look. But if the grid, if they were in rows of 3, and this might, we might be trying to fundamentally change the sport here, that I don't know why they're in pairs. There may well be a very good reason for it. But if they were in groups of 3, 7 and then just one geezer on his own at the back in the absolute shame spot.
I was going to say, that is the humiliation spot, isn't it, that?
Rightly so. But if they were 3 wide, does that give you enough gap to the next car directly in front of you to mitigate that? Because you're less likely to have what we saw with Franco, where all of a sudden, oh my God, there's a car there, because you've got less in front of you. Because even if they slightly overlapped down your 3, you would think there's still
Yeah.
Still space.
I think the only sensible solution is to have a start-finish grid that's 22 cars wide. Because even if you go 3, I think the problem is you're going to have that moment, and assuming this does work, well, then obviously it won't be a problem. But if it didn't work, you'd then get to a point and you'd go, oh crap, I can't go left and I can't go right because there's 2 cars that are there, and I'm a bit buggered now. So yeah, simple solution: make the tracks wider.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Hey, the good news is that a visual warning system has been introduced, which means they're going to flash on the back when someone fucks up their start. So
why was that not a thing in the first place?
Wonderful question. Really wonderful question. Don't have an answer for you. Pod. Great solution. Great solution. Right. We're racing for improved safety and consistency of performance.
Nice.
The maximum power available through the boost in race conditions is now capped at 150 kilowatts, or the current power level at activation, if higher, limiting sudden performance differentials, which I think is this. We'll call this the Ollie Behrman rule, I think.
Right.
This is just, we should not have a 70-kilometer-an-hour closing speed or whatever that ridiculous point of difference was when they were both on throttle.
I'll tell you what, this is some heavy reading this week, isn't it?
Yes. The MG UK... Sorry, yeah, go on.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think for anybody that's got this far, you should probably pause this and go and get yourself a tea or a coffee or something and refuel. Actually, no, that's not allowed in Formula One, is it? So you're just going to have to suffer through this.
You catch fire.
The maximum power available through the boost in race conditions is now capped at 150 kilowatts. So is that saying in the Behrman incidents? Because I'm going to assume that Colapinto at the time wasn't boosting, and Behrman was boosting.
He'd run out of.
He was both. Boost.
No, I believe he'd run out of battery, and Behrman was boosting. So we had the absolute min-max situation.
Right.
Colapinto was going nowhere, and the Behrman was flying.
So we're saying that Behrman was over 150 kilowatts.
Plus 150. Yeah, he was boosting.
He was like 180 kilowatts or something.
Above his normal power deployment.
We've made the boost worse. In the name of safety. Is that essentially how I've read that?
Yes.
So in theory, then, if I've read this right, overtaking becomes harder.
I don't know.
No, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I can't imagine that they would have gone because the overtaking has been quite successful. We've seen a lot of it, and
yeah.
I don't mind the yo-yo overtaking personally, which I appreciate as a slightly hot take with some. No, I don't know. I don't know. Fine. I don't understand it. I'm almost too technical for it, perhaps. If someone that does understand this wouldn't mind writing in and explaining the boost differential rule,
Rosie?
Please, that would be wonderful. Rosie, thank you.
That'd be handy.
Hey, the good news is the MG UK deployment is maintained at 350 kilowatt in key acceleration zones from corner exit to braking point, including overtaking zones, but will be limited to 250 kilowatts in other parts of the lap. Great.
So,
I think that's more power from the engine, is how I read that.
So,
because the MG UK is the engine delivering power, right?
I feel like I'm getting dangerously close to getting kicked off the Posy Pod here. I'm trying
to keep vibes high.
I'm really trying.
And then we've got some wet weather conditions rule changes, which is fascinating, bearing in mind we've not raced in the wet yet, and I don't even think we've had a sprinkle. Has anyone looked at an intermediate tyre so far in this season? We've already got 3 rule changes for the wet weather.
I think the first time in the Formula One calendar this year that anybody involved with Formula One has said the word intermediate was about 30 seconds ago when you just said intermediate.
Yeah. But they've upped the tyre temperatures for the intermediates, which is the tyre blanket temperatures have been upped, which
right.
How can they? You've not used them yet. How can you know? They can now use less ERS to improve car grip in low grip conditions, or improve car control. So that's another driver assist. And then they've simplified the rear light systems. Hey. So none of that I don't know. That bit I don't understand. We've not raced in the wet.
Blinked on and off.
Well, now they're clearer and more consistent with their visual cues to improve visibility and reaction time for following drivers in poor conditions, which they haven't done yet.
But how do you get simpler than on and off?
Look, just on.
That is the option, isn't it?
And very occasionally off. Yes. All of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Wonderful.
It's a lot of technical rule stuff that we do not
However,
understand.
it does say at the bottom that these final proposals will now be put before the FIA World Motorsport Council e-vote before their planned implementation. So they might not even come in play.
No, you'd like to hope, bearing in mind that the FIA came up with them, that the FIA would approve them. But this is also Formula One.
We might have just wasted 38 minutes of all of your time on talking about things that may or may not even happen.
Well, surprisingly, Toto doesn't like them. Toto thinks that we need to go in with a scalpel rather than a baseball bat, I think was his official interpretation of it, which reeks of you've got a problem, change your fucking car, but just back to 2026. It's positive, though. We touched on this at the start. It's positive that they are open-minded, that they're considering tweaks, as much as we don't understand what the tweaks are, as much as the tweaks may appear confusing in terms of what they're trying to achieve. People that know better than us have probably sat down and considered it. And the driver chirp out of this seems to be sort of reasonably positive. I think even Max was a bit like, yeah, hey, at least it's progress. It's like, okay, that's something. That is something.
Fine. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We will see. And we will see soon when we go racing in Miami. Do you think we're going to go racing in Madrid? Because I'm going to be honest, I'd forgotten that Madrid was on the calendar this year. And then I've seen some pictures from Madrid, I think in like the last week or so, where it still looks an awful lot like a building site with no track in it and no facilities and no pit buildings and no grandstands and nothing.
Yeah. I think these kind of construction companies have got a particularly good way of getting on with things when they need to. However, it does always also feel that this is just the way that a new Formula One circuit works. That's it. And all of a sudden you'll get there on day one and go, happy days, all there. Lovely. Cheers. Thanks. I think Hungaroring had a problem the other year when they were either resurfacing and everyone was going, I don't know whether it's going to... And then it was just like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But I don't know. I mean, this could fall very much into the category of Vietnam. It could fall into the wasn't there going to be a Grand Prix in Thailand as well at a point that just never materialized? But I think Vietnam, they built it, and it was either COVID or they just decided the fact that the government were corrupt or something like that, and they never actually got there. But it made its way onto a video game. Which has the Madrid Ring got itself onto a video game? Is it on the F1 26 patch?
We haven't had 26 yet, so
no. But isn't it a patch?
Yeah, and we haven't had it yet.
Oh, it's not out. It doesn't exist yet.
I think we get that in like I don't think we've got a date for that yet. I assume it's usually about June, but we're not 26ing yet.
Okay.
No, we're not 26ing.
Yeah, I don't know. In short, I suspect it'll be fine. I mean, half of the roads are already there, aren't they?
Yeah, the roundabouts are in place already, I think. So they'll be fine on that.
Costco.
Which the most important bit for any circuit is to have your IKEA in place.
No, I think it's going to be all right.
Should we follow up technical chat with tax chat just to really keep this going as one of our spicier episodes ever?
Could do.
Italy wants to charge F1 drivers tax because they earned some of that money in Italy, and I think they want to be retrospective about it, which just reeks of the Italian government fancying a payday.
Oh, I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Or it does sound slightly more kind of exotic when they say Guardia di Finanza. Like I think I would be more inclined to give my money to the Guardia di Finanza than I would to HMRC.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've got a warmer vibe coming from the Guardia di Finanza.
Also sounds like it's one guy. Like that is the Guardia di Finanza, and he has a fucking sword. Like I don't think I want to mess with him because I think he's probably got a weapon
and a sword.
Yes, I think he's got a weapon.
Money. Yeah. I mean, tax is boring, isn't it? Nobody really likes talking about tax. And I did try and have a read through it, but it is essentially a case that supposedly if you earn the money in Italy, you are then expected to pay tax on that money collected in Italy. And I think let me get the pronunciation again, the Guardia di Finanza is looking to retroactively collect taxes from Formula One drivers who competed in Grand Prix on Italian soil on recent years. Doesn't name anybody, don't know who it would be. Apparently, if it exceeds 50,000 euros, it could be considered a criminal offence for the individuals, and substantial fines may be imposed on top of the back taxes. I don't think anybody's going to jail, but it also doesn't make a lot of sense to me that if you were... Although, again, a similar tax system for non-resident athletes is used, for example, in Australia, the UK, and the United States. So apparently it is a thing.
Yeah. I saw a thing that in like the NBA, obviously they play in a bunch of different states, and the tax system in the US is you pay state and federal taxes. So
Right.
there was an NBA player's like pay slip, basically. The tax line was, line on line on line on line, because you had to pay tax in this state and then that state and then this state and then that state, and they were just all sort of separated out. This is why it's just handy that we're poor. We don't have to worry about this stuff, because I'm not paying tax in Italy because I'm not an Italian financier.
No, and I don't think I've ever won anything in Italy, let alone competed in anything in Italy. So good for us for being in the poverty line.
Yes, very good. I think this is going to fold really nicely into how I've been spending the last week of the catch-up window. Did you know you could just buy an F1 show car to just have at home? Full thing. Did you know that?
I didn't, no.
F1 Authentics will sell you just a whole ass F1 car. With
Right.
just take your pick of your livery, and you could just have the whole thing. They sent me an email the other day.
Oh, you've inquired? What's the going rate for a show car?
Now, this is where, unfortunately, we may have to consider some sort of Lapdown Pod, Team Radio, community crowdsourcing, because it's an inquire now pricing system, which generally means I'm not going to be able to afford it. It certainly could be. I think it's probably more than that. So they sent me an email because they've now got an Aston Martin collaboration. There are only 10 of these that exist. They are, let me read you the official line on these.
Please do. I'm just looking at it right now, actually, as it goes.
It looks an awful lot like an F1 show car. It perfectly recreates the shape of the current 2026 F1 regulations and features a range of new innovation. It comes with genuine carbon fiber components, actual official Pirelli tires, functional steering, and movable wheels. I don't think it comes with an engine, so it may be a little bit like you're in the shopping center, like the kid in the shopping center where they can do the wheel, and then they're also just kind of bouncing up and down a little bit. We might need a couple of people to push on the rear wing to make it sort of bounce up and down.
Yeah, okay, nice.
But everything else is true to spec. I'm just going to propose to you, I would like to record a podcast with us sat in an actual F1 show car.
Yeah. I'd like to do that as well. I would genuinely quite like to do that. I could see it being a very, very practical experiment for the pair of us, I think.
Yes, I would say so. You can have on here, because then obviously I couldn't just look at the Aston Martin one that they had emailed me about in a press release to say that they had a
because
partnership.
it would have tickled your curiosity, wouldn't it?
What else is in stock? So I went and I browsed, much like H&M send you an email being like, we're selling blue T-shirts now. Would you like one? And I would go, oh, maybe. Do you have any red T-shirts? Yes, they do. You can have an Alpine. You don't want an Alpine. Let's be perfectly honest. You can have a 2024 Red Bull. The A526, yeah.
26 would indicate it is, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it's not got the eyebrows on the wheels. So I think I think that's an accurate modern day Alpine. You have a 24 Red Bull. You can have a Scuderia Toro Rosso SDR 10. 2019 Toro Rosso.
There's plenty on here. It looks smart.
You have a 2007 McLaren MP422, that's getting into some chrome business.
See, that kind of car feels like it could fit in your living room.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that was pre-obesity crisis, wasn't it, in the Formula One world?
Yeah.
That was kind of like they were still a bit kind of small and dainty at that point. So that could actually work. And even more so if you wanted to go 10 years earlier, and this would probably fit in your downstairs bathroom. You could get the 1997 Williams FW19 Jacques Villeneuve championship winning official F1 show car. That would be right up my street. Although Williams had died to me by that point because they'd sacked Damon Hill at the end of the 1996 Formula One World Championship, and because he was, I don't know why they did. I really don't. He was the world champion, and they got rid of him at the end of 1996. So as far as I was concerned, that's when my issue with Williams started. About when as soon as they sacked Damon, so that's off the radar for me. Mm-hmm. But that being said, so many things. I like the 1999 Ferrari F399 official show car. Can I pick the car that I would like to sit in to record the podcast for?
I don't see why not, because we'll buy it. If everyone chips in a tenner, I'm sure we'll get close, and then we can just have it can be the people's car.
How many listeners do we get for this?
Enough. We just we'll enough for an acquire now. I'm sure. I would say. Yeah. What I will say as well about that 1999 Ferrari F399, there's white on that red Ferrari, and I'm not angry about it because that's a red car with a little bit of white on it. That's not been ruined.
Do you know why that's white though?
I'm going to assume that is a deformed Marlboro logo on the top. Correct. There.
Yes.
Which it is quite by modern standards where we have to put white spots around in order to perfectly have the normal HP logo. That is a deformed Marlboro logo. That's not on there neatly. You're actually missing half of it. That wouldn't fly anymore.
No, but I think that must have been the era when smoking was deemed bad.
Right. So by this point, we were being sneaky about our implementation.
So. Tell you what, they're not. But then if you look at the 1999 McLaren MP4-14 official show car next to it from the same year, that's got West stamped on the side of it, and that I'm pretty sure was a tobacco company as well. Formula One was run on tobacco for that period of time. What I'd like to know the answer to is how much were Tic Tac turning over to get on the side pod of because this was like championship winning level. This Ferrari. I mean, how many packets of Tic Tacs were they selling from Sainsbury's petrol stations around the world to justify that on a side pod?
I'll flip that question on you. When's the last time you had a Tic Tac? When's the last time you saw anyone with a Tic? When's the last time you saw a Tic Tac?
When was the last time anybody? I couldn't tell you the last time anybody shook their Tic Tacs at me.
No.
Did you just show your Tic Tacs at me? Wait, like again, look, maybe this is where they've gone wrong. They've stopped being fun with their advertising. They've stopped having their logo on the side of a Formula One car. Because now, if I had to choose, I'd probably go for a packet of Mentos.
Yeah, I think so. I think Tic Tac have I just absolutely fumbled.
Yeah,
because there was a time. Do you remember the orange Tic Tac? Fuck, I'm broken today. Can you tell I work in social media marketing? The orange Tic Tacs back in the day used to be. They were like a high trading commodity when I was in school. No one wanted minty Tic Tacs. Orange Tic Tacs, though, even though they were kind of disgusting because they were quite bitter, you're in business. Absolutely.
And they also used to make the cocktail ones, didn't they, where they had the orange and the lime ones in the same bag, and you always ended up with just the lime ones left.
Yeah.
I do think with Tic Tacs, and they're quite similar to paracetamol in a way, is the fact that once you've got past that kind of sugary bit on the outside, it is actually just a bit of disgustingness. It doesn't really add a great deal of value to your life. But that initial kind of burst of whatever it is that it's coated in, you kind of go, not bad.
This is good. Yeah, this is great. Yeah. I'm enjoying this. And then it quickly becomes nothing. So there we go. I think as a team, if everyone just, puts a couple of quid in and some freedom bucks for our listeners over in the States, we can actually have a real F1 car. Not real, it's not going to go anywhere, but a real enough F1 car. They do actually look, bang on. I think they are they're proper show cars. Hey, I've got some team radio, and it is from Rosie at the lap pad. Basically just doing some of our citations from the last episode just to make sure that we are up to speed.
How long ago was that?
So, Rosie said, from a quick Google search, there was nothing about F1 drivers from Liverpool, unfortunately. We've had no Scouse drivers. Their habitat is more in the southeast and the Midlands.
That's that poverty line we were talking about, isn't it?
Well, Northern England is more the grazing grounds of MotoGP and rally species of racers, Rosie tells me. Pumpernickel bread is a slightly sweet type of dark rye bread. It often has molasses as an ingredient, hence the sweetness and the dark color, although other things contribute to that as well.
What were we talking about pumpernickel bread for?
You're role-playing as Toto Wolff, and he has pumpernickel for breakfast, as referenced on the popular Netflix series Drive to Survive.
Cool.
And then, most importantly, on the topic of food, while I have limited athletic ability, I would happily chase any form of cheese except brie or blue down a hill, whether it was as aerodynamic as a Baby Bell or just a giant wheel of Parmigiano Reggiano. I would commit crimes for a good DOC Parmigiano Reggiano. It actually has more protein than most meats and beans and stuff, so like it's healthy, and I will abuse that knowledge shamelessly if anyone ever comes to me just eating a wedge of it like the feral mouse woman I am. If you would like to be in a future episode like Rosie, teamradio@lapdownpod.com.
That's wonderful. That is
Rosie
wonderful.
being perfect as ever. Right, Dan, I think we've covered everything that we could possibly cover about what's happened in Formula One. Where can they find you doing non-technical Formula One things?
Yeah, when I'm not kind of really getting to grips with the new rules and regulations of the Formula One 2026 World Championship, you can find me doing cricket things on the internet at Dan Jads. It's the second you put the Z in, it kind of limits your search options. So it's a good way to find me. So if you'd like to see that, you can find me there. And are you still streaming?
I am still streaming. You can find that at twitch.tv/hey, look, it's Alex. You can watch me play games. Currently building a colony for some beavers. There needs to be some sim racing stuff that comes back at some point soon as well. You can follow us, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at LapdownPod. As I said, teamradio@lapdownpod.com. Do review things. They really help. Share it with someone. That really helps as well. And we will see you all next week to go back to a preview show. We get to talk about racing again because we're going to Miami, and then we're going to stop racing again for a little bit. But next week, we're going to Miami. That's a bit exciting. So we'll see you all then.
See ya.